What's good, people? So we're gonna start this video off by giving y'all like a roadmap for the video. We're starting off with stuff that has been released but it didn't have a number to the release. So for example, this is the Kong Studio Custom Ultra Ego Vegeta, right? This is the ultimate version. Now the ultimate version, as you can see, came with the Super Saiyan 3 head and the Ultra Ego head, and of course it came with the swappable torso. So you got the head, different hands, face plates, and swappable torso. That's the ultimate version. Now this was gonna come out, it was scheduled to come out October 2022, so you know that's long past. That's literally a year ago now. Now this is, I think this is one of the first Kong Studio products I actually bought, but it just wasn't very good. One of the legs was shorter than the other. It looked cool. It looked like a cool enough figure, but it just missed the mark, you know. It would be nice to see them revisit this now, what they have updated. But this is the Kong Studios Limit Breaker Vegito. Once again, a figure that came out way back when. Now, this picture, according to the date, it was posted on March 11th, 2022. So, once again, a year ago. And gotta say, Kong Studios has come pretty far in a year. And once again, this stuff will be out of order. Pretty much all of the stuff that doesn't have an official number to the release will be out of order. And we're gonna revisit that because some of the numbers to the releases is off. You'll see what I mean later. But 5K Toys, Kong Studio, the regular version of the Vegito. Once again, this was a cool, once again, it was a cool release. It's just that the articulation definitely needed work, especially in the ab section. I remember this release so much. The Kong Studio Capsule Corp Goku with, you know, the black and orange gi and the Ultra Instinct hair. Now, like I said, I know it's a history thing, but I remember this release so much because I remember being on 5K Toys and being like, I'm gonna eventually get it, and I'm gonna eventually get it, only to get to the point where it eventually just sold out. It was on the website for so long, and I just procrastinated with getting it. But I have a review up on the channel. Maybe one day I'll revisit it. Maybe. Now, here's yet again. This is in the early beginnings of Kong Studio, or Beast Deity now. But this is back when they kind of started off with the hair kits, and then it seemed like it didn't take them long to switch over to full figures. But here's a hair kit that came out. Now they did end up basically doing this hair kit again, but instead of that transparent hair, you got the Super Saiyan God hair. We'll get there in a bit. Now this is way back, so when I got basically to the beginnings, I had to scroll basically to all the way back to like 2020 to see this post, but I believe this is Kong Studio right here. So one of the first releases, if not the first release that Kong Studio did, was like a Super Saiyan 2 hair. And here we see the prototype version of the. I had to scroll way back on 5K Toys page to find this. What else? Here's the in color version. Looks much better in color. So it makes sense that this is one of their first releases, since a lot of people back then really wanted a Super Saiyan 2 Goku, you know? And when did that Super Saiyan 2 Goku for Tamashii come out? I feel like it was like 2021 or something like that. It might have been like 2021. But either way, it took Tamashii a little while to drop their Super Saiyan 2 Goku. So it only makes sense that they took initiative with this. Here it is, a shirtless Vegeta figure, and came with a couple of face plates, came with the hands, a unique hair sculpt, which I think the hair sculpt, even by today's standards, isn't too bad, you know? I believe this was meant to be the Super Saiyan Blue Evolution Vegeta. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take this time to say this too. Keep this figure in mind because, you know, we've seen basically a 3.0 version of this figure via renders, but I don't want to get too far ahead. But the reason why I bring that up is because don't be surprised if we see an updated version of this figure in the future. Oh yeah, and here's okay. So I was wrong about what came in this version of the kit because we were just talking about the Ultra Instinct version of the kit, and I was saying it just didn't come with the transparent hair, but I forgot about the rose hair, and they had the god hair too. So it actually was fairly different. This was another kit that was on 5K Toys for a long time, and I just procrastinated with buying it because it was like, oh, it'll be there, and then it's not there, and it's like, oh, well, this sucks. But maybe at some point I'll get to it, see if I can find it for a reasonable price. And here is one of Kong Studios' first full figures, if I'm not mistaken. This revival of F-Gi Goku with Super Saiyan blue hair. And looks like a solid release, I actually have the hidden version of this figure. So you know how Tamashii always does like a limited edition version whenever they release a set of figures. I have the hidden version of this figure and I plan to review it at some point. I have to thank my good man Nate for giving me that. Oh, I couldn't wait to get to this. This is crazy right here. Doesn't this head sculpt look familiar? And the reason why I'm bringing this up is specifically because this was in a Kong Studio post. And in the Kong Studio post, it said a bunch of random pictures. But the first post was a Kong Studios figure. So I say that to say it stands to reason that this was meant to be a Kong Studios head sculpt. But if we look closely at it, where else did we see this head sculpt if you didn't catch on already? Black Hole Toys released their figure with this head sculpt. This Ultra Instinct head sculpt. And I didn't peep it until I was thinking about it. I was like, wait a second. Yo, I had this head sculpt in hand. Like, I really loved that hair sculpt for Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, is it the best? Depends on your preference, right? If you like the manga art style, where I think Toyotaro tends to draw more spikes in the Ultra Instinct hair, depending on the artwork. But this seems to be more reminiscent of the anime Ultra Instinct. Either way, that's very interesting that this was under a Kong Studio post, but it ended up dropping with a Black Hole Toys release. Very interesting stuff, people. You gotta pay attention to these little details like this. Of course, here's another, update, or alleged update on Kong Studios post. Very interesting. Now, I could be wrong, and it could just be, it just happened to be a tease for Black Hole Toys, but that was a little while back before we never even ever heard of a Black Hole Toy. To be more specific, this was posted on December 15th, 2022. Here's some windswept hairs from Kong Studio. And this is very interesting. So this is the one thing I'll give y'all the number for, because I believe this is the last picture in this set of pictures that I have in this folder. And then we're going to move on to stuff that's numbered. But keep in mind, this is labeled Kong 009. So the 9th release in their line of Dragon Ball stuff. Keep that number in mind. Yeah, this is the last one. Alright, we're going to move forward into the numbered stuff. This was the unnumbered stuff. Now we're going to get into the numbered stuff. So now, after a much needed lunch break, we are on to the numbered Kong Studio releases. And as you can see, some of the stuff might look more, familiar. So, first thing first, we got Kong 09, which was basically the Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Goku. Then we got Kong 10, Xeno Super Saiyan 4 Goku Limit Break. Kong 12, Goku Black Super Saiyan 4. And then Kong 11, Goku Black Super Saiyan 4 with the pink fur. So, as you can see, we start to get those releases with the many variations to them. And I think this is where it kind of started, right here. Where you get all these releases with, we have Super Saiyan Blue, we have this version, we have that version, you feel me? But let's move forward, because it's very interesting next. Look what we have here. 5K Toys, right? Kong 012. Yellow Vegeta, as they called him here. But it's meant to be Majin Vegeta and a couple of regular Super Saiyan head sculpts. But how could this be Kong 12 if this right here was Kong 12, the Goku Black Super Saiyan 4? And this is what I mean by, like, the numbers started to get kind of weird. And they get weird even up until modern day with the rebranding of them being Beast Deity. But when we get there, I'll show you what I mean. So now we at Kong 013 and Kong 014. Now keep that 14 number in mind because it's very strange how, once again, it's strange how it's number. And I referenced this figure earlier because when we saw the revival of F Super Saiyan Blue Goku from Kong Studio, I was like, oh, I have the hidden version of that figure, and I do have this figure in hand. I'm going to review it at some point, but there's a lot of other reviews I want to do first. But trust and believe, it'll be coming before December is out. But as you can see, they've been doing the hidden versions for a while. But the weird thing is that this is Kong 14. Now, if they want to be super stickler about it, this is technically Kong 14. The other one was Kong 014. So if you really want to split hairs, but that, to me, that doesn't make any sense. That's just me reaching. But let's move onward. So this right here, Kong 15, Kong 16, and Kong 20 was like the turning point for Kong Studios, because this showed us that technically nothing was off limits. Super Saiyan 5, I never would have thought that this would be in figure form. Even if you go back to some of those reviews, I asked a question in the video, like, did you ever think that we get this in figure form? Like, me as a kid could have only dreamed of something like this, you know? And so, like, that's what Kong for me, like, kind of opened up the floodgates for kind of anything is possible, you know? But this was like a crazy release. Let's go back. Now we have Kong 17, 18, and 19. The thing about this is that Kong 17, these were all pre-releases basically. And some of them had updated paint schemes and whatnot. Like, for example, this Vegito, right? The Dragon Ball Heroes Vegito with the black gi. He was originally released with the base hair, right? But the base hair was brown. But when they re-released him in this release, he had black hair. And I actually did review that figure on the channel. That's an older review. Maybe I could re-review it at some point. Maybe. We'll see. And then, of course, we have the two Ultra Egos. You have the battle damaged one. And then you have the one with the shirt that's torn off. Now, I'm not sure if the torn off shirt one is... It looks like it's meant to be a redone version of the ultimate version where we saw that he had the swappable torso. Actually, I lied to you. Because the swappable torso one didn't have a shirtless sculpt. But either way, as you can see, you could imagine that these were quite the hits. They sold out pretty fast. I think the Vegito is the one that was the last to go. But yeah, moving forward. So now we're getting into more contemporary stuff where I think a lot of people will be able to more easily recognize some of these releases. And here, of course, we have the infamous Super Saiyan 3. Infamous for many reasons, but one of the main reasons being, you know, the hair was very heavy. Too heavy, actually. And compared to the promo photos, it was very interesting. It was either a very shrewd balancing act or a load of malarkey. But we're not here to review the figure, at least not at this point. We have Kong 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and 26. So many different variations to this set of Super Saiyan 3. You had two Super Saiyan 3 Vegetos, one blue, one the standard. Well, actually three. But one with the black gi. And then, of course, you had the Kaioken Blue 3 Goku. It was a whole lot with this wave. This was a very popular wave. Funny enough, with this wave, the funny thing about this wave is I remember specifically one time I was just doing an update video on these Super Saiyan 3s. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn when I say this, but I remember doing a video on these and it was like a couple of these left because these were up for pre-order for a little while before they all completely sold out, which is funny because a lot of people were asking for them to re-release it. But either way, I remember I made that video and I swear the last couple of the stocks sold out. Conveniently after I made that video. Now, it's possible that it wasn't me, but I was the only one really, not the only person, but one of the main people, besides like Burst, talking about third party at the time. Even now, not a whole lot of people talking about third party like that, you know? Not a whole lot, at least. But moving forward, Kong, and this is what I was talking about, with enough complaining, you can get what you want. Kong 27 and 28, the Super Saiyan 5s from Dragon Ball AF, not the Xeno Super Saiyan 5s, but the Super Saiyan 5s from Dragon Ball AF. Some people already have these in hand because, you know, if you live in an Asian country, then you're going to get the release earlier. But this is what all that complaining about this, not the complaining, but all that belly aching. I just said complaining in a different way. But with enough of that, you got Kong 27 and 28. And then, of course, we would eventually get Kong 29. Now, of course, none of this has been released officially just yet. This should be releasing in a couple weeks because they said mid-December, early December. I believe it was mid-December that 5K Toy said. But Kong 029, and if you didn't have enough of Goku Black, starting with Kong 29, even though it's a part of the Super Saiyan 5 wave, like the next 5 Kong, or I guess at this point they were transitioning over to Beast Deity releases, were Goku Black. So first up on this list is Kong 30, or what will later be renamed as BD 30, Beast Deities 30, which I'm gonna come back to that. But Goku Black, shirt torn off, Super Saiyan 3, Rose from Dragon Ball Heroes. And this sold out. This is one of the most highly sought after Kong Studio products. I don't think any product, well, I was gonna say, I don't think any product after this has really sold like that. And the only product to really go up for pre-order after this was the Vegetas, which last time I checked, they're still in stock. The Xeno Vegetas from Dragon Ball Heroes. So, and then we would get, of course, Kong 31. Now, some people thought this was more redundant because it's Super Saiyan 3, but it still has like just the regular old Gi. So a lot of people were kind of skipping this one and just getting the next one, Kong 32, which is meant to be Super Saiyan 2 or regular Super Saiyan Goku Black. I mean Super Saiyan Rose Goku Black. And I can see why. The other one is just the Super Saiyan 3 here. So I think the other one, Kong 31, was mostly for like, I don't know. It's just another figure to sell. But if you did miss out on a shirtless version, Kong 31 would have been perfect. Now, Kong 33 was a little bit different because Kong 33, it wasn't even a whole figure, it was just a kit. And as you can see in the kit, you get him powering up the scythe or the blade, about to like unleash it, and you get the base hair with the kit. Also, you got the energy effect and you got a couple more hands. So Kong 33 was very interesting. Now, the final thing, this is what I suspect to be Kong 34. And the reason why I say that is because I'm going to show that Kong 34 is just basically what I suspect is going to be. It's going to be the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Black. And I think this is going to be the hidden version, of course. It's going to be the Super Saiyan 3 Goku Black. However, it's going to have that kind of coloring, like he has the aura flared up on the figure. So I expect the hair to be like a transparent-esque pink, and I expect the pants to be colored a little differently. I'm gonna show you what I mean right now. So right here, in a more recent post, this was on November the 17th, so very recently, it says BD30, BD31, and oh, notice that it's been retitled. Instead of Kong, it's BD30, BD31, BD32, and BD34. I suspect this right here to be BD34. Now, I don't think this is the finalized version, but as you can see, The coloring scheme on the pants is like he has his aura, rose aura flared up. And I said the transparent hair, I think that's just a placeholder hair. I think the final hair will be, funny enough, my good man, what's his name? Divine. I haven't seen him comment in just a little bit, but he sent me a picture of this pink transparent hair and it was Super Saiyan 3. Only thing is, I don't think it had Patara earrings on it, but I'm gonna post a picture up on it when I edit the video so you can see what I'm talking about. But I expect the hair to look something like that when it is released. But we're almost done with the numbered releases, and this is where I said the numbering gets kind of weird again. So now we get into the last of the numbered releases, and you can see it's been reset with the Vegeta. B001, B002, B003, and then for the kit, it just straight up it changes to something different. RB001, Red Bolt. So it's not, I don't even really know what to say. It's interesting to say the least. Very interesting. I think with the Red Bolt kit, it gave me an idea for Goku. When they released the regular Super Saiyan Goku and regular Super Saiyan 2 Goku, I think if Red Bolt is even continues to be a thing, which I don't see why it wouldn't, but just in case there's just a thing for this, which would just be silly. I think, don't be surprised if we get like an Omni Goku like repaint for the RB, whatever the number is for that point, you know? But because, you know, we got Omni Vegeta right here. But with that being said, let's move on to the renders, which we don't have any release dates for. We just know that they exist and probably might see the light of day at some point. So now we get into stuff that was just shown as renders. And this is, I mentioned this before, right, with Vegeta. I was like, when we saw that shirtless Vegeta, I was like, don't be surprised if we see an updated version of it. And this is why I said this. We got renders of a shirtless Vegeta on a 3.0 mold. Now the thing is, when we finally got our Vegeta figures, as you can see, it's Xeno Vegeta from Dragon Ball Heroes. It wasn't this shirtless Vegeta with his standard, you know, armor. So this is what leads me to believe when this actually drops, especially since we didn't get this with this most recent release, I think when this drops, we will get an ego head, an alter ego head with this Vegeta, you know? Here we go. This was the render before it had completely put all the joints in. And here we have renders, of course, of Super Saiyan 3. But once again, Super Saiyan 3 shirtless Vegeta, and it looks like it's like his regular armor, or his Super Saiyan, not Super Saiyan 3, his Buu Saga outfit. And here's some early renders of that Super Saiyan 2 Goku. That's been in the works forever. And we just recently got colored versions of it. And here is a future Gohan that they showed off so long ago. Not even that they showed off. This is back when my man Cyrus and Burst used to be on Baidu. I think I don't even want to say what type of website it is. It's going to sound ignorant. But it's a foreign website. And they used to go through pages upon pages and just send renders of stuff. And this is clearly, if you look at it, done by Kong Studio. It's just that they never really they did announce something for via 5K Toys, and I'll see if I can put up a screenshot so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But it never saw the light of day. But I have a feeling as more future Gohan stuff is announced, don't be surprised if we see something about this again. Not only that, but the more stuff we see from third party in regards to future Gohan, don't be surprised if an official release from Tamashi is shown off. So just, you know, keep your head on a swivel for that. And here, once again, Kong Studio, Ultimate Gohan, Future Gohan. This is all stuff they got in the tuck probably still. They just haven't dropped it. It's going to be very interesting to see them actually come out with this stuff. And as you can see, Jason Ko. Jason Ko is the admin for the 5K Toys, or more specifically the Kong Studios group, where you can basically pitch suggestions and Jason Cole or maybe even other people from Kong Studios look at the page and they see what the most popular thing is and they'll make it. But Jason Cole posted this on September 20th, 2023 at the time of this recording. Well, it's not September 20th right now, but you get what I'm saying. This is the first in-color rendering that we got of the Super Saiyan Goku. Now, this should be a really pretty solid release. The biggest problem with the Kong Studio Super Saiyan 3s is that the hair was so heavy. But this shouldn't have that issue because it's just a regular hair. But still no word on a drop date. Now, here's something that was released shown off very recently. If you don't know who this is, you might have seen him in your fan fiction in the early 2000s. Zycor. Man, this guy. I've been waiting for this figure for eons. I've been fiending for this figure. Because, I don't know. It's something that I just took a liking to him. I like his character design. I think he looks cool. We got it. It's a bit edgy, but what am I going to say? But Zycor is on the horizon easily. The only gripe I have with this, and this is not this kind of video, it's more like a what's to come and what has been video, but I don't like the way the back of I think they need to adjust the back of the hair. I'm going to put a picture up on the screen so y'all can see what I'm talking about. But if the back of the hair is just not quite right. Now, whose hand? They teased another thing for Beast Deity. Whose hand? Beast Deity's Fenrir. Now, I thought about this myself, but Sai is the one that actually vocalized it to me. He said maybe this is Zycor. But I was like, the reason why I dismissed that initially is because, like, why would they promote that, hey, Zycor is coming out, and then promote this and say Fenrir is coming soon and make it like be like, yo, whose hand could this be? Now, the reason why Sai said that it's Zycor, and the same reason why I thought it could have, if it was a possibility it could be Zycor, is that the only person that's ever held Vegeta like this is Zycor, and Toyotaro's fan manga, of course, before he started working on Dragon Ball Super. So, it's possible that it could be Zycor, but I don't know, it would be annoying for them to be like, oh, who is it? Only for it to be Zycor, you know? And the reason why Sai was like, oh, maybe it is Zycor is because look at the little bit of trouble or annoyance that they had with Tablos, with them making the Super Saiyan 5 figure, right? Because Tablos was like, yo, you stole my character and you're making a figure of him. That's not cool, basically. And they don't want another thing like that with Zycor, I'm assuming. So just listing him under the guise of Fenrir would be, I guess, more palatable, or just it wouldn't be, you wouldn't go through that same trouble that they had with Tablos. But let's move forward, because that was the last of the renderings. So now we're entering in the territory of stuff that doesn't even have renders, but it has been announced. As you can see, Cumber and Dark Super Saiyan 4 Broly. These were two like crazy announcements. Now, the thing is, like I said, we don't have any actual renders for this, but the funny thing is, like, Dark Super Saiyan 4 Broly is interesting specifically because later on, as you'll see, Super Saiyan 4 Broly has already been confirmed, but it was confirmed with another form. So that's going to be very interesting to see how they release these different forms of these characters, but as almost like separate releases, if it is done as separate releases. But here's another one, confirmed by Jason Cole, the admin of the SHF Mythic and Kong page. He says Trunks is in plan on next year. So it's in the plan for next year. And they posted a Super Saiyan 3 Trunks. So, you know, it's gonna be crazy, man. It's gonna be crazy. You'll see what they do with that Trunks. Will they just take the legs from Tamashi's version? We'll see. And oh man, this is one of my most anticipated releases besides Zycor. Probably even a little bit more than Zycor. The Sun Wukong Goku. Well, Dragon Ball Z Goku, because you know that's redundant. But this figure is gonna be crazy. I really, oh man, Like, depending on how they implement the Dragon Balls floating behind him, oh man, this could be beastly. Now, we haven't heard any word on this, but it's supposed to be coming next year. A bunch of, like, next year is pretty stacked. At this point, I feel like we almost know everything that can be released for next year without spilling over into 2025, you know? But time will tell the tale, like, what's up with this release, because this is definitely something that a must-have for me. And here we go, where I was referencing Super Saiyan 4 Broly and Super Saiyan 5 Broly confirmed. So we'll see what's going on with this. They said it's supposed to be announced. I'm thinking it's supposed to be announced by the end of this year. We're in basically in December. We're not in December yet, but we're basically there. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this goes. Very interesting. And last but not least, this is not even okay. This isn't even confirmed, but it's more like a yo. What y'all feel about this? We added joints to the ape, and a lot of people seem to be on board with this. Now that's gonna be a humongous figure and a very expensive figure, and you know they like to do variations, so your pocket's gonna be crying. Our pocket's gonna be crying with this release if they decide to do it. We'll see. And oh man, I almost forgot. I'll just post like a pop-up on the screen, but there's also been some other stuff that's been kind of basically confirmed in the comment section. It was like, you know, people were like, yo, how about a Super Saiyan 5 Vegeta? I think that guy was actually subscribed to me because he commented on the channel. Yo, that was me when I mentioned this before. But Super Saiyan 5 Vegeta, it was like, it'll have to be next year because we have a bunch of other stuff planned for this year. We got a couple more things to go for pre-order for this year. So next year is going to be stacked. That's if you're into the fan fiction scene. If you're not really into fan fiction and like Dragon Ball Hero stuff, which is basically official fan fiction at this point, then it's not going to be really tickle your fancy. If you're more into like official stuff, you know, stuff in the main story, then this video definitely wasn't for you, because there's barely anything from the official story besides Ultra Ego. That might have been the only thing from the official story, like the main story. Dragon Ball Super was considered to be quote unquote canon. That's the only thing. Oh yeah, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, regular Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and what else? Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta was never a thing, so it's technically not canon. I guess early on in the video, revival of F Goku and the Super Saiyan 2 Goku head sculpts. But either way, I don't want this video to drag on for too long, because when I put all these parts together, it's probably gonna come out to like 20 minutes. This has been Bombastic Plastic. I don't think we'll need overtime this video, but stay fantastic.